everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another video. I'm not sure if this is going to end up being a rant video or just a discussion video of my final thoughts of Resident Evil Village. Before I get started, I want to give a big, huge shout out to Kiki and Rex and the rest of the gang up at the local GameStop for being kind enough to allow me to procure a couple of extra copies of this game at last minute. My early review copy got shut off, and I was able to get one for my buddy, but nonetheless, I'm not sure what this is really going to end up being, but it's my final thoughts of Resident Evil Village. Now, there's most part of the people that have been playing this have actually enjoyed it, even though there has been some people that have been going online and making up complete and utter bull crap, trying to trash this game for some reason. I don't know why. I'm going to go over several different things that I felt about this game and then give you my final opinion of the game. First up has to be the overall gameplay loop. Now, some people are complaining that there's too much backtracking in the game, and then I just wondered, have you ever played a fucking Resident Evil game before, you damn idiot morons? Seriously, have any of you people ever played a Resident Evil game before? The people that are complaining about the backtracking, oh, there's too much backtracking. Well, you know what? One of the best games in the Resident Evil series was named Code Veronica, and I stand by that. This Dreamcast version of Code Veronica, and 98% of that game was backtracking. That's the problem with people today. Their attention spans are like gnats, and they're too stupid and just too easily manipulated to complain about something as backtracking. I hate to tell you this, people, but backtracking in a game like Resident Evil works. It allows you to explore the world, enjoy the environments more, and get more out of it. Is it a heavy backtracking game? It can be on the kind of high side of backtracking, but once you played the game and you've gotten used to the gameplay loop, you realize it's not that bad. The fact of the matter is, if you're complaining about backtracking in a Resident Evil game, don't play Resident Evil, because you obviously are a freaking moron that are probably used to just playing some games that are one and done. This one, it makes sense for the title. So in this case, I have to give a point to Resident Evil and a takeaway point from you idiots that complain about the overall gameplay loop and the backtracking. Next up are the characters. Some people have actually said that they thought that the characters' acting was terrible and there was no development and they were bland. Well, I would have to say, in my personal opinion, I kind of like these characters. While I've never been a fan of Ethan since Resident Evil 7, I do appreciate the fact they have evolved him as a character to where he grew a pair during this, and he's still not the best character in the Resident Evil universe, but the other characters are the star of the show in this. Seriously, the other characters that you actually meet along the way, hands down, are the best part about this, and I'll talk about them in a little bit. But next up is the overall level design of the game world. Visually, it is stunning. It is pretty much, if you combined Resident Evil 4 in a first-person mode with Castlevania with a lot of Saw aspects and other sick and twisted things. Visually, it is beautiful, and for anyone out there that actually says that the graphics suck in this game, maybe, just maybe, it's because I'm playing it on a PlayStation 4 Pro, but if last time I checked, I think the PlayStation 4 had a higher rating than the PlayStation 5. Maybe the Xbox version isn't as good, I don't know, but visually, the overall structure of the game world, I think, is quite impressive, quite large, and very, very intriguing. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You have the right to, but I disagree with you. I think you're a fucking moron if you actually think that the level design in this game is bad. It's actually quite well done. Next up is the overall design structure of you going through the 4 houses. Now, I should have probably said this at the beginning, but there's going to be some spoilers in this. That's your warning right there. So if you want to play it, you might not want to listen to the rest of this. I'm not going to really get into too much detail, but the overall structure is involving you traveling to these 4 houses, 4 different main central locations to solve some mysteries, kill some bosses, and get the pieces you needed to continue on your quest. Hands down, I absolutely love it. Once again, it comes off almost like a classic Halloween monster movie sort of mishmash with Resident Evil, and it works. Each of the 4 houses, their villains, their monsters, and the main characters, and the superb atmosphere and the art style absolutely sell this game. Seriously, if you might find some, this one's not, this one's boring, you just walk around. It's called atmosphere, people. You can make a game that doesn't have you going around Michael Bay explosions every 2 fucking seconds to have a decent game. If your attention span is that small, go back to your damn Fortnite, okay? You damn morons. But honestly, the next thing on my list that I have, trusty rusty list here, so I don't forget, because I'm an old man, why don't you make fun of me with that in the comments, but are the enemy designs. Hands down, this is a drastic improvement from Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7, other than the Baker family, basically just had a couple enemies. You had your blob, slime oil creatures, and this one expands it significantly. The character designs, the enemies, their AI, while they're not the brightest characters in the bunch, they do serve the purpose of what they're supposed to do. Everything from the Lycans to the vampires to everything else. Honestly, the art style, the way they act, the animation and everything is quite top notch. And everybody complains about canned animations. Well, you know what, you damn morons? Every animation is, quote, a canned animation. Unless you have some sort of animation program that can draw up animations on the fly to connect point A to point B, they're all canned animations. Get over it, you damn idiots. If you're going to nitpick, come up with something better than that. The animations to me seem perfectly acceptable, and I like the enemy designs. Next up is the graphics. Like I said a little bit ago, the graphics. People been complaining about the graphics. What system are you playing this on, an Atari version? Oh, you know what? Maybe I have heard the rumor. I think this is a rumor. I'll check into it. That people are trying to state that that Sony slid extra money to Capcom so they would make sure that the PlayStation versions actually were visually more appealing and look better than other versions. Here's the thing, people. I don't buy that at all, and this is the reason why. This runs off of the RE engine. The RE engine is a very impressive gaming engine, but it does seem to run better on the PlayStation system due to the overall programming of how the PlayStation system works. The PS4 and the PS5 work in a specifically different way than other systems. Now, maybe, just maybe, they are able to squeeze a little bit more out of the PlayStation systems with less effort than Xbox. But in the end, even on an Xbox, this game still looks very, very visually appealing. From all the slight crusty details of all the items in every room that you come to the details up close. And yes, I have never played a perfect game. This is not a perfect game. There are times when you might have a glitch on a texture, but you know what? You can't hold that against the game just because occasionally you might have a glitch on a texture. I've actually seen other AAA games that look way, way worse than this. Honestly, hands down, it's a good looking game. Next up is the gunplay. Well, this is the one part where I actually can say that I do think they could have used a little bit more improvement on the gunplay in the game. It still handles great. It doesn't feel like floaty or anything, but I think it should have more crunchy impact when you're using your weapons against the enemies. But it plays perfectly fine. Honestly, I didn't have a problem playing with it at all. The gunplay in it is decent. Each weapon does handle differently and does feel differently. And with the different upgrades that you can do throughout your adventure, you can modify and make the weapon to your own liking for each specific weapon. I myself actually just maxed the hell out of the pistol to where I can insta-kill pretty much anything with one shot. I mean, you could do the same with the shotgun, sniper rifle, and the other weapons I'm not going to talk about that you get in this game, but the gunplay is pretty fluid. It's decent. It could use a little bit of tweaks to it, but it's nothing earth-shatteringly bad in any way. Next up is the Duke. That's right, the great and glorious Duke. I kind of messed with my friend and I told him, it's like, yeah, the merchant from Resident Evil 4 is in here. No, but they do have some nice little Easter egg tiebacks to them. In this version, they have the Duke, a big, morbidly obese guy who sells you stuff, everything from upgrades to items. You can sell him stuff to get money and even get, like, food recipes that will permanently increase your stats along the way. I think it's a welcome addition. It breeds a lot of character into a merchant. Seriously. That's one thing about this game, hands down, I gotta give them credit for. They give a lot of personality to every single character. Even people that get killed, they still have more character than most characters in games that actually spend 40 plus hours. And hands down, I absolutely like the Duke. I know what he's doing. I know about him because, like I said, I've played through this game several times. But, hands down, I like the addition of the Duke. He added a lot to the very mundane thought of just purchasing items and selling stuff. It was very well done. Now, the other thing has to be the overall game style. Now, a lot of people have actually compared this to Resident Evil 4, but it obviously isn't because it's first person. Resident Evil 4 was in like a third person. This is obviously a hodgepodge of Resident Evil 7 combined with Resident Evil 4 set in, pretty much Transylvania. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I honestly do not have a problem with that. The overall gameplay, the art style, the control, and everything tied together actually works very, very fluently. And I applaud the development team for taking the approach to make it a more open-ended Metroidvania-style adventure, where you go and you may see a lock gate, but as you explore and you gather items, you'll get new keys, stuff like that, and you can progress farther. Now, I will admit, honestly, a lot of the puzzles are lame. They basically consist of just finding the right item, and once you do, you can pretty much go ahead and beat that puzzle. I do miss the days a long time ago with these multi-layered puzzles of doing this to do this, to do this, to do this. And I don't really think it's as bad as some games where it's like you go in one room to grab a key, go back to the other room to unlock a door. But I am kind of disappointed in the puzzle structure. I do really feel they could have done a little bit better with it. But, combine it with the overall gameplay, it's fine. It actually works. And to me, it's personally not that bad. Now, the next thing I have to point out is the overall Metacritic score. As of recording this, it is landing at a 85 on the PS4 on Metacritic and PC, and an 84 on PS5, which is kind of shocking that the PS5 version is a point or so less than the PS4 version. Now, like I said, I've been playing it on a PS4 Pro. It gives you the option of either playing it in a high resolution mode or a frames per second mode. I am stuck with frames per second. I do not know what the PS5 version actually entails, but apparently people actually preferring the PS4 version and PC version, while the Xbox version seems to be the worst out of the bunch. So it's kind of intriguing there. I think the RE engine just doesn't work as well on Xbox. That's what I personally think. Now, the last thing I have to talk about is the boss battles. Now, this has a lot of grand, epic boss battles with a lot of script moments, and they are very well done. They're very visually appealing and over the top, but I have to personally say from my experience, even though I think these are much more grander experiences battling these bosses, I kind of like the boss fighting mechanics that they had better in earlier games. Resident Evil 7, I think, did the boss battles a little bit better. Earlier ones did as well. I do have to say I'm not disappointed in any way, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more in terms of different mechanics when I was fighting these bosses. It wasn't anything that bad, but it does consist of, okay, run from the enemy, just keep shooting them. I kind of wish that they had done a little bit more with the bosses in this game because they're so epic and beautiful and all these neat cutscenes and everything. But it just comes down to running and gunning. And I was kind of disappointed that they didn't feature more unique mechanics for each boss in this game. But that really isn't a major issue. Now, here are my final thoughts of Resident Evil Village. I absolutely love this game. I think it plays great. It's a good amount of time. You can spend anywhere from upwards of 15 hours plus in this game. And people are like, oh, well, 10 to 15 hours isn't a long enough game. You know what? You're the same dipshits that pay full price for a Call of fucking Duty game that only takes about 2 hours to play through the damn main story and the rest is online multiplayer. You know what? You ain't got the right to complain about this. You can shut the hell up. You people are the problem in society. You're two nitwitted, moronic people out there that complain about the dumbest things. You're complaining about a game that is only 10 to 15 hours long that you can speedrun in about 2 to 3 hours. In fact, that's how you get one of the trophies in the game. But plus the fact that they are coming with the RE Universe game here soon, which I've already played, and I'm going to have a review up on that in a while. Honestly, that's not that good. Really, it is. And it's just a 4 versus 4 player thing, fighting AI enemies as different characters from the Resident Evil universe. I mean, that's fine because it's included free, so I'll give them that. But honestly, if you compare the total package in this game to Resident Evil 7, you will see that you get a lot more bang for your buck, a lot more value. It plays better, it looks better, the overall world design is better, the characters are so much friggin' better. And if you guys are going to sit here and complain about stupid stuff about how Ethan keeps getting body parts cut off and he super glues them back on with his magic healing juice, you know what? You're playing Resident fucking Evil, for crying out loud. Look at all of the other games in the series. Would it be better if you were a big muscly guy punching boulders, for crying out loud? Seriously. In the end, I would have to say, if you don't like Resident Evil Village, that is fine. That is your right. But just don't be a douchebag about it going, I don't like it because I like that. Prove it. Prove it. The proof is in the pudding, you jackasses. Leave in the comments below if you hate this game so much, why? Explain yourself. Explain yourself. Don't just say, oh, this game sucks because the graphics suck. Why do the graphics suck? What system are you playing it on? Could you show me some screenshots? I'd like to see why your game sucks while mine looks so freaking good. Oh, I don't like the character development. Really? Well, I'd like to see reason why you don't like the character development. It's so easy to sit here and complain and nitpick, but why don't you prove it? Why don't you explain to me your opinion of why you hate this game so much? The reason why you hate this game so much is because of one reason only. One reason only. Ethan Winters. That's it. That's the only reason why people hate this game. You hate it because it's not one of your fan favorite characters that you get to play as. No one likes Ethan Winters. I get that. But if you can get past playing him, you'll realize this is a really good game. It is way better than Resident Evil 7. It plays great. It looks great. I love the puzzles. I love the overall atmosphere. And the story, the plot is actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, more grounded than Resident Evil 7, despite all the wackiness that's in it. But please, leave in the comments below what you think about Resident Evil Village if you played it. If you agree or disagree with me on anything that I've said on this rant, I think this counts as a rant. And make sure to hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos on my channel. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.